Alright, Shalom. Before we start, I'm going to give our praises, honor, and glory to Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shah, Bahashem, Rahak Badash. Double honors to the apostles, elders, and bishops of Great Millstone that teach and rule well. Peace and salutations to the hopeful elect. Shalom to the tabernacle of David. Alright, we're back with another video, and this will be a news update. Alright, and I titled it Through Thy Traffic. Alright, so it's going to be a news update, and I'm pretty sure we all have heard about it. All right, and if you haven't, you know, you'll hear about it now. You know about the Slovakia, about the bridge collapse, and here in Baltimore. All right, we're gonna get into it just a little bit. So, hold on. All right, Slovakia. But yeah, let's. This is from Reuters. It's the Baltimore bridge collapse sends vehicles tumbling into water. So this happened about, I believe this was a couple days ago. It was like March 25th, early morning, around like really like around like 1 a.m. But we'll read some of this. It says it's Baltimore, March 26th, a massive cargo ship smashed into a bridge while sailing out of Baltimore early on Tuesday, sending cars and people into the river below and closing one of the busiest ports on the U.S. eastern seaboard. Rescuers pulled out two survivors. One of them was hospitalized and searched for more in the Patapsco River after the huge metal spans of the 1.6-mile Francis Scott Key Bridge crumpled into the icy water around 1:30 a.m. The ship reported a power issue before impact, which enabled officials to stop traffic on the bridge before the collapse. By being able to stop cars from coming over the bridge, these people are heroes. They saved lives last night, Maryland Governor Wes Moore said at a briefing. The bridge was up to code and there were no known structural issues, Moore said. There was no evidence of foul play, officials said. Work crews had been repairing potholes on the bridge at the time of the collapse, and sonar detected vehicles under the water, which was about 50 feet deep at that point, said Paul Whitfield, Maryland Secretary of Transportation. 8 people were on the bridge at the time, and 6 remain accounted for. The state's transportation secretary said hours after the collision, which closed one of the busiest ports in the United States. The 948-foot vessel, as long as 3 football fields, placed end to end, had experienced a momentary loss of propulsion and dropped anchors as part of emergency procedures before impact. Its management company, Synergy Marine Pte Ltd, reported, according to the Singapore Port Authority. The dolly, owned by Grace Ocean Pte Ltd, collided with one of the pillars at the bridge, according to manager Synergy. All 22 crew members aboard the Singapore flag vessel were accounted for, it said. So yeah, this you can see that a container ship had crashed into the that bridge, the Francis Scott Key Bridge, was that's the part of I-65 or not I-65, I-695, Slovakia. All right, and yeah, that's one of the a lot of trucks, transport goes through there, go to get to the port of Baltimore. All right, now a lot of people are saying that. Well, I believe myself this was a Black Swan event, because if you watch the video, if they have a video on here, but they do have they have this map. So this is the ship departed around 1 a.m. And it went out and it came down. Now they said the ship collided with the bridge at 128, around 130. You know, so if the and they said that the power went out when you watch the video. Let's see if I can pull it up real quick. Um, let me see. I don't want a long video. I just want a short one. Let's see. Well, this don't got no sound to it, so we can watch this one. All right. Matter of fact, let me go here. All right, you see it. You see it went out. The power went out. The lights are off. And it came back on. You got the smoke coming out, right? You see that? Man. But when you look at the ship, to me, this is in my opinion. It looks like it deliberately, turned into the bridge. You know, like in my opinion, I believe that the container ship could have made it under, at least under it, right? But no, it looked like when it turned, it turned deliberately into the bridge, man. This is the ships just don't do that. All right, and then brothers are saying if the power went out, they would have sent tugboats and you know Coast Guard out there to help them stop the ship. So where was all this stuff at around this time? All these people, man. You know, and you can see the whole thing. You know, gone like that. Whole bridge gone. Crazy. And I believe myself this was some type of event. Because it's gonna affect the economy. Not the whole economy, but it's gonna have some effect, right? So get rid of that. All right. So yeah, man. If you want to read the rest of this, you can. I'll read a little more. Uh, it says ship traffic was suspended at the port of Baltimore until further notice. It is the busiest U.S. port for car shipments, handling more than 750,000 vehicles in 2022, according to port data. The closure of one of the U.S. East Coast major ports threatened to disrupt supplies of goods, from cars to coal and other commodities like sugar. It could create bottlenecks and increase delays and coasts on the eastern seaboard, experts say. The port handles the most car imports and is among the largest for coal exports. Slovakia. President Joe Biden and the U.S. Coast Guard responded quickly to the Mayday call and commended the fast action of Maryland transportation officials who shut down the bridge before it was struck and undoubtedly saved lives. And I believe 6 people died. All right. It says the primary focus continues to be the search and rescue operation. Biden said at the White House he promised to visit Baltimore, which Washington, D.C. isn't that far from us. It says as soon as possible. It said he wanted the federal government to pay to rebuild the bridge. So yeah, man. But want to, and America relies on their exports and imports, because that's how they become, that's how they get their money, right? Let's get Ezekiel 28, right? Ezekiel 28, Tyree's king overthrown. Now the modern day king of, the modern day prince of Tyrus is who? Esau Edom, right? It says, Ezekiel 28:1, the word of the Lord came again unto me, saying, Son of man, say unto the prince of Tyrus, thus saith the Lord Yahweh, because thine heart is lifted up, and thou hast said, I am a God, I sit in the seat of God, in the midst of the seas, yet thou art a man and not God, though thou set thine heart as the heart of God. And these people, they have they want to play the role of the Heavenly Father, man. They have a God complex. It tells you that in not Ezekiel, it tells you that right here, 2 Thessalonians. They want to sit in the temple of the Heavenly Father with what? That charagma, all right? Because your temple is your body, right? Verse 3, behold, thou art wiser than Daniel. There is no secret that they can hide from thee. With thy wisdom and with thy understanding, thou hast gotten thee riches, and hast gotten silver and gold in thy treasuries, and thy treasures, Salakia. By thy great wisdom and by thy traffic hast thou increased in thy riches, and thy heart is lifted up because of thy riches. Let's look at this word traffic, right? Traffic.
Strong's H 7404. Rechala. Rechala.
Excuse me. All right. It says merchandise, traffic, trade. All right, that's how they make their money. All right, America, they're in the top, 5 in one of the richest countries in exports and imports. All right, so that's how they get their merchandise. They through their traffic, with boats. All right, cargo ships, planes, all that, man. Slovakia. So let's get this. It says Baltimore bridge collapse, shutters port indefinitely, impacting supply chain. You see that? So it's gonna have some effect, Let's play this video, see what it's talking about. If it'll play.
So which leg are we operating on?
Asking the right question can great.
Mute that, Salakia.
Joining us now, supply chain expert and Resolink CEO, Bidya Vakil. Bidya, thank you so much for being here. I almost said luckily, there's no luck in this, but because of the location of Baltimore, the traffic of the ships that would be going in and out of that port can...
Yeah, the traffic. We just read Ezekiel 28 about that traffic. Has gotten riches. All right, let's replay that.
There's no luck in this.
Matter of fact, I'm gonna start from the beginning just in case y'all can't hear me.
Joining us now, supply chain expert and Resolink CEO, Bidya Vakil. Bidya, thank you so much for being here. I almost said luckily, there's no luck in this, but because of the location of Baltimore, the traffic of the ships that would be going in and out of that port could easily be rerouted to...
Sorry, replay it just in case y'all didn't hear me, but that she said that traffic. All right, we just read Ezekiel 28. The traffic of Esau Edom. The prince of Tyrus. All right, let's continue.
Say other nearby ports, say Newark, say New York area, and maybe Virginia Beach, Newport News, that area?
Yeah, so generally for some of the larger companies, that is the normal business continuity solution where companies have alternate routes and modes of transportation on those lanes. For some of the smaller companies who may not have thought about that, or who don't have a pre-existing relationship with a different port, and they have to frankly set it up now, it would be much more difficult. So I think the level of risk is really unique to from company to company. Some of the larger companies are likely to be less disrupted, some of the smaller players more so.
So Vindhya, what impact will this have on the supply chain, especially on the East Coast? Big company, small company, globally, what impact?
You know, the Port of Baltimore is definitely very important, particularly for the import and export of any rolling products such as cars, light trucks, and construction equipment. On the cars and automotive industry right now, the dealers are sitting on a lot more inventory, as you can imagine, just coming out of recovery, out of COVID. So I think the near-term impact is somewhat limited. Longer term, what we are watching for right now is how quickly can the government recover operations at the port and clear up the 4 lanes in order for the shipping traffic to continue using the port. That's really going to determine how widespread the impact could be. And in particular, in nearby vicinity, there are definitely about 3,200 sites that are involved in global logistics, distribution, warehousing that do rely on the highway, the bridge, as well as the port. Right. So there is going to be near term a bigger disruption the closer you are to the port.
No doubt. Bindya Vakil, thank you so much.
All right, so this is gonna have this will have a impact on the supply chain, man. All right, I'm gonna read a little bit of this. The collapse of the Francis Scott Key Bridge in Baltimore on Tuesday after container ship lost power navigating the channel and collided with one of the bridge's support pilings has resulted in the indefinite closure of the Port of Baltimore, which will impact the supply chain on the eastern seaboard and beyond. Shortly after 1 a.m. Eastern Time on Tuesday, the container ship MV Dolly, which is 948 feet long and was laden with stacks of containers, lost power as it was approaching the channel underneath the bridge. The ship's crew and harbor pilots sent a mayday call with enable authorities to stop traffic over the bridge. So they sent a mayday call, man. All right, because the like we saw in the video, that power went out. Ship lost power, right? It says after the container ship attempted to execute an emergency stop by deploying its anchors, it struck a pylon of the bridge, which toppled much of the 1.6 mile span into the waters of the Patapsco River. A construction crew was on the bridge at the time of the incident, and authorities said 8 people fell into the river, 2 of whom were rescued with 6 reported missing. The Coast Guard announced a transition away from search and rescue efforts to recovery operation Tuesday night. The state of Maryland and the Federal Department of Transportation announced the closure of the shipping lane to the Port of Baltimore until further notice, as the investigation, recovery, and cleanup efforts get underway. There was a point in this article I wanted to get to. It says, It says the Port of Baltimore handles more auto cargo than any other U.S. port, with 750,000 vehicles flowing through the port in 2022. According to port data, Ford and General Motors each announced that they are working to reroute auto shipments that were scheduled to go to Baltimore, and said the impact would be minimal. The port also serves as a hub for other goods, including coal, as it was the second busiest port for coal exports in 2023. It is also the largest port by volume for farm and construction machinery. Right, and I see that a lot. A lot of construction machinery and farms, the farm industry come through, right, as well as sugar and salt. Its indefinite closure could create bottlenecks in the supply chain, resulting in delays and higher costs for certain goods on the eastern seaboard. All right, so yeah, man, it's gonna have some type of effect on the trucks. Trucks come through here all the time. They go through everywhere, of course, but trucks, they come through the port, man. All right, these highways are like arteries, you know, in America. You know, they go everywhere. You know, and if one is messed up, then you know it's gonna have some type of effect on it. You know, matter of fact, a little bit to Ezekiel 28 real quick, cause it was another verse I wanted to get. So by that traffic, I'm gonna start at Ezekiel 28 and I'm gonna start at 17. It says, "Thine heart was lifted up because of thy beauty; thou hast corrupted thy wisdom by reason of thy brightness. I will cast thee to the ground; I will lay thee before kings, that they may behold thee. Thou hast defiled thy sanctuaries by the multitude of thine iniquities, by the iniquity of thy traffic. Therefore will I bring forth a fire from the midst of thee; it shall devour thee, and I will bring thee to ashes upon the earth, in the sight of all them that behold thee." Let's get the NLT. Oh, let me read it right here. NLT. I'm gonna start at 4:28 and 4. "With your wisdom and understanding, you have amassed great wealth, gold and silver for your treasuries. Yes, your wisdom has made you very rich, and your riches have made you very proud." So these people, they got proud by their riches. All right, and we know Esau, Edom, they got their riches by the sword, man. All right, but they, you know, through certain businesses like ports, or, you know, by container ships and trucks, you know, they get their riches as well, right? Because that's what they rely on. This is from UK World Options. All right, it says world's top exporters and importers. Our update 2024 says countries around the world depend on imports and exports by air, sea, and road routes in order to transport goods through their borders and into other countries. Healthy trade keeps economies booming. Pretty much everything we have around us, from pens to furniture, if not manufactured from the UK, will have been transported in from another country. You know, a lot of our stuff come from China. You know, in many different places. Like these phones, these definitely come from China, right? It says even some items which are manufactured in the UK may have components and parts imported from other countries. The list of products imported and exported is endless, from everything from clothes, cars, food, petroleum, electronic products, and more. We take a look at the world's largest exporters, their products, and the busiest ports and shipping routes in each country. So these are the world's largest, the top 10s, largest exporters, and China's at the top. It says China leads the list of world's largest exporter. Interestingly, of the top leading exporting countries, 4 are from Asia, 5 from Europe, and 1 North America. So you got China, United States, Germany, Netherlands, Japan, South Korea, Italy, Belgium, France, and Hong Kong. All right, and you see the United States is you know, just right behind China. All right, with 2.6 trillion, and this is the world's largest importers. The United States is the world's largest importer of goods, followed by China and Germany. Overall, out of the world's 10 largest importers, 4 countries are in Europe, 4 are in Asia, and 1 North America, and 1 from Central America. So you got the United States, China, Japan, the UK, South Korea, Hong Kong, Canada, Singapore, Turkey, and Vietnam. All right, with America leading with 3.37 trillion. All right. You know, you can read this. I'm gonna just read America. It says the United States is the world's largest economy and the world's second largest exporter of goods. The top 5 destinations for exports from the United States are Canada, Mexico, China, and Japan, and United Kingdom. Container ship traveling out of New York City harbor. It says most exported goods are capital goods, you know, transistors, aircraft, motor vehicle parts, computers, telecommunications equipment, organic chemicals, automobiles, and medicines. Most imported products are industrial supplies, automobiles, clothing, medicines, furniture, toys, computers, telecommunications equipment, motor vehicle parts, office machines, electric power machinery. All right, and the ports in the United States with the highest volume of goods exported and imported are Los Angeles, Long Beach, California, New York, and New Jersey. All right, but Baltimore, they get in, like we read, they get in a lot of automobiles, right? So, amen. I believe this will have some type of effect on it, right? Let's get Revelation 18. Revelation 18 and I'm gonna start at 10. It says Revelation 18 and 10, standing afar off for the fear of her, for the fear of her torment, saying, Alas, alas, that great city Babylon, that mighty city, for in 1 hour is thy judgment come. And this was when the nuclear missiles gonna hit. You know, of course, Yahweh Shah is gonna come and judge this place, man. All right, along with those nuclear missiles, right? It says the merchants of the earth shall weep and mourn over her, for no man buyeth their merchandise anymore. You know, these other nations are gonna mourn, all right, because they can't make money off America anymore, right? It says the merchandise of gold and silver and precious stones and of pearls and fine linen and purple and silk and scarlet and all fine wood and all manner vessels of ivory and all manner vessels of most precious wood, and the brass and iron and marble, and cinnamon and odors and ointments and frankincense and wine, and oil and fine flour, and wheat and beasts and sheep and horses and chariots and slaves and souls of men. Right? They got slaves. They got, you know, the souls of men. All right, and the fruits of thy and the fruits that thy soul lusted after are departed from thee, and all things which were dainty and goodly are departed from thee, and thou shalt find them no more at all. The merchants of these things, which were made rich by her, shall stand afar off, for the fear of her torment, weeping and wailing, and saying, Alas, alas, that great city, that was clothed in fine linen and purple and scarlet, and decked with gold and precious stones and pearls. You know, so they're gonna be wailing for Babylon. All right, and you know, all this stuff happening is gonna have some type of effect on it. So like, just lock it. Give me 1 second. I don't want to make this too long, so let me transition it real quick. So yeah, you know, this stuff that's happening, you know, that bridge that collapsed is gonna have some type of effect, man. All right, you know, so I want to get a couple more real quick. I had another article. So this is from not End Time Headlines. This is from the People's Voice TV, right? It says FBI insider, Baltimore bridge collapse was an inside job to attack U.S. critical infrastructure. You know, and I believe the elites do this on purpose, man. All right, they do this stuff on purpose to mess with the people. You know, because they want the people and they want control of the people, right? And this all gonna lead to the MOTB, man. Right. So it says while the Biden administration continue insisting America is not under attack, which it is, I believe, multiple intelligence agents have confirmed the Francis Scott Key Bridge collapse in Baltimore was a brilliant strategic attack targeting U.S. critical infrastructure in an election year. According to an unclassified report from the DHS National Operations Center, the container ship lost propulsion before slamming into the bridge. However, footage captured on sites suggests that Salaki. Let me read this again. According to Salaki, forgive me. According to an unclassified report from the DHS National Operations Center, the container ship lost propulsion before slamming into the bridge. However, footage captured on site suggests the ship deliberately steered into the structure, and we watched it. And, when I first seen it, I was like, just don't, it raised a couple of red flags. This don't seem right, man. Right? And it shows it again. I mean, it's sped up. You see that? Steer right into it. Come on, man. It says, can we take the idea that this Baltimore bridge collapse was a terrorist attack off the table? And absolutely, we cannot do that. President Trump's former national security advisor and retired Lieutenant General Michael Flynn told Alex Jones in an online interview. Flynn called the container ship ramming the 1.6 mile long bridge, mile bridge at the port of Baltimore, a black swan event, right? However, multiple intelligence sources told investigative reporter Lara Logan that this was an absolutely brilliant strategic attack on U.S. critical infrastructure, most likely cyber, and our intelligence agencies know it. In information warfare terms, the terrorists just divided the U.S. along the Mason-Dixon line, exactly like the Civil War. It says, make no mistake, this was an extraordinary attack in terms of planning, time, and execution. The two critical components on that bridge are the two load. Let me read this again. The two critical components on that bridge are the two load-bearing pylons on each end, closest to the shore. They are bigger, thicker, and deeper than anything else. These are the anchor points, and they knew that hitting either one of them would be a fatal wound to the integrity of the bridge. Half a mile of bridge went into the river. Likely, you will have to build a new one. Also caused so much damage to the structural integrity of the bottom concrete part that you cannot see and won't know until they take the wreckage apart. Structural destruction likely absolute. So you can read the rest of this. I'll read this. Location was precise and deliberate. It says, choose a bend in the river where you have to slow down and commit yourself. Once you are committed in that area, there is not enough room to maneuver. Should you have a harbor pilot to pilot the boat, you are not supposed to traverse any obstacles without the harbor pilot. It says they choose a full moon so they would have maximum tidal shift, rise and fall. It says brisk. You can read the rest of this on your own, but they believe, and I believe myself, this was some type of an inside job, as I should say, right? So I got this last one real quick. Let's get second address 15 or 11. I'm gonna start at 10. It says, behold, my people is led as a flock to the slaughter. I will not suffer them now to dwell in the land of Egypt, but I will bring them with a mighty hand and a stretched out arm, and smite Egypt with plagues as before, and will destroy all the land thereof. Egypt shall mourn, and the foundation of it shall be smitten with the plague, and punishment that the Heavenly Father shall bring upon it. So the Lord is smiting plagues with this, is smiting Egypt with plagues. And what's Egypt? America, Babylon, the Great. All right. And then, it's going to get worse and worse, man. Nothing's going to get better, as the apostles and, the brothers and the elders have been telling you for many, many years, man. All right. This thing's going to get worse and worse. And like it's going to lead to the mark of the beast. All right. So, hey, Lord Willis was edifying. I just wanted to bring that out, All right. Everybody's talking about it, So, hey, brothers and sisters, let's continue to keep the faith, continue to watch and pray. All right, so with that, I'm going to give all praises, honor, and glory to Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, Bahashem, Rachak Wadash. Double honors to the apostles, elders, and bishops of Great Millstone that teach and rule well. Peace and salutations to the hopeful elect. All right, shalom to the tabernacle of David. Lord Williams edifying. On to the next video. Shalom.